Topping today's news, senators begin debate on the budget as the fiscal year quickly draws to a close. Police investigating the shooting death of a 21-year-old man on Sunday in southern New Providence. NIB launching a crackdown on delinquent businesses nationwide. And Foreign Affairs issues travel warnings for the Middle East and parts of the United States. Your JCN Evening News. I'm Jarino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Senators began debate on the 2025-2026 fiscal budget this morning under the theme Expanding Opportunities Island by Island. After agreeing to the various heads, the members of Parliament passed the bill early Friday morning. Before debate began today, though, Senate President Lachelle Adderley reminded the senators of the important job they have ahead of them.
While senators robustly debate this all-important budget, it is critically important to bear in mind that the 2025 budget debate is not about members appointed to this upper chamber, but more important, it is about the Bahamian people that have given us the opportunity to serve and occupy these seats in the upper chamber. As you all are well aware, the 2025-2026 budget directly impacts projects, supplies, accommodations, and more importantly, salaries of civil servants, inclusive of nurses, doctors, custodians, teachers, drivers, police officers, members of the Defense Force, and the list goes on.
With the new fiscal year beginning next Tuesday, July 1st, the Senate President informed the members that she will not allow the chamber to lose focus on the task at hand, as there was much back and forth in the lower chamber.
Accordingly, there is an expectation that this budget will be passed by the upper chamber in a timely manner. Towards this end, the chair intends to strictly enforce the Senate rules for the duration of this debate. I am aware that the thrust of the debate will become intense and robust. I hereby urge you, senators, to remain parliamentary, honorable, and uphold the true sentiments of the upper chamber. Please be reminded that the chair intends to fully utilize our Senate rules to ensure that the debate is governed in the appropriate manner and that best practices are adhered to.
The Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator Michael Halkitis, opened debate for the government side. Meanwhile, during his contribution, Senator Halkitis reinforced the Prime Minister's announcement that the government predicts it will achieve a balanced budget with a surplus projected at some $75 million by the end of the fiscal year. Collecting outstanding revenue will help the government meet its projections, says Halkitis.
It means that the government is projecting that in the upcoming year, 2025-2026, the government will collect sufficient revenue to adequately fund the programs that the government has to fund and still have $75 million left over. So we're collecting enough money to do what you have to do and have funds left over. And where
Mr. Halkitis said once the balanced budget and surplus have been achieved, it would allow the Bahamas to go to the international markets to raise funds in good size and on good terms, while also promoting investor confidence in the Bahamas. He said the government is well on its way as the economic recovery continues.
Information and communication sector rebounded with 21.5% growth. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing industries grew by 21% through targeted government investment. Our international standing and credit rating are much improved over the last 4 years, Madam President. Fitch Rating Services assigned our inaugural BB- rating with a stable outlook, while Moody's upgraded our outlook from stable to positive for the first time in 17 years. We also successfully returned to the international bond markets with a $1.06 billion bond offering at 8.25% interest.
Minister of Economic Affairs, Michael Halkitis. Police investigating a fatal shooting incident that took place in the Bamboo Town area on Sunday shortly after 7 p.m. Responding officers arrived at a residence on Taylor Drive where they observed an unresponsive adult male with apparent gunshot injuries showing no signs of life. Initial reports suggest that a group of individuals were gathered outside that residence playing dominoes when a male on a motorcycle stopped nearby. The male allegedly brandished a firearm, approached the group and discharged several gunshots in their direction before fleeing the scene on that motorcycle, reportedly driven by another individual. Police continue their investigation into this, the 41st murder for the year. On Friday, the government officially commissioned the Department of Social Services' newly refurbished headquarters for the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting in the Sunshine Plaza on Blue Hill Road. Prime Minister Philip Davis was the keynote speaker and had this to say about the role of social service workers.
I know what it means to struggle. I've seen what poverty can do to a family. I've watched people fight hard to survive in a system that sometimes makes them feel small or forgotten. So when I say this, I say it from experience. No Bahamian should ever feel ashamed to ask for help. It is the mandate of my government, our solemn duty, to help those who need it most, to go the extra mile, to open every door, to exhaust every resource. If it means cutting red tape, then let us cut it. If it means finding $1 more, then let's find it. I would rather our government do too much for someone in need than to be remembered for doing too little.
As for the newly renovated building, Prime Minister Davis had this message for the staff.
This renovated building is beautiful. It's modern. It's accessible. But what will define it, what will truly define it, is how people feel when they walk through those doors. Do they feel seen? Are they heard? And do we help them? We are building a Bahamas where no one is left behind, where the vulnerable are not just protected, but prioritized. That's the country I believe in. That's the government I lead. And that's the legacy I want to leave.
The Prime Minister reminded the social service workers that their work is extremely important. He encouraged them to treat those that seek their help with dignity. And finally, in this segment, last week it was revealed by Alfred Sayers, the minister responsible, that the National Insurance Board, NIB, was able to recuperate more than $1.7 million from employers on Abaco and Eleuthera since the beginning of this year. NIB has announced plans to become more aggressive in cracking down on non-compliance by employers. The board intends to strengthen its revenue collection efforts, similar to what Inland Revenue has done. NIB launched its collection program here in the capital today and will target employers that fail to register, fail to submit wage records, and those that fail to make required payments of funds on behalf of their employees. The crackdown is in line with the Davis administration's commitment to ensuring the long-term sustainability of the National Insurance Board. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.